God, it's gonna come out bad.
Yeah, you can't. No, it's not.
Whatever. It's your own bad decisions, not mine.
Well, let's do a round robin. Let's start with Alex. Alex, we're looking at your ceiling.
Yeah, I'm just texting Aiden and Logan.
All right. So have you been reading anything, or have you watched any movies, or?
I watched Zombieland 2 days ago.
Double Tap?
No, the first one.
Oh, the first one. What'd you think?
It's pretty good.
Did you like it?
I did. I liked it. But
what did you think about the Bill Murray cameo?
I was definitely pretty good.
That was pretty funny, huh?
Yeah.
Have you been reading any books?
Not really. Not really doing much around here.
I know it's tough, but books are a good way to get your imagination going and exercise your mind.
Yeah.
There's a lot of places that are doing books for free. So like Pop Culture Classroom, if you go down there on Thursdays, they're giving away graphic novels.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and they're doing it all social distancing appropriate. So you guys can definitely, if you talk your folks into taking a ride, or if you're able to get down there, it's more towards downtown. But that's just one example of the place. There's also little libraries around the neighborhood, like the what do they call them? Like the lending libraries.
Yeah.
Do you guys have one of those in your neighborhood?
I'm not actually sure.
I'm sure there's one in Reunion somewhere, but that's a good way to get new books. You take an old book in there and put it in the library, and then get a new one. It's kind of like a trade.
Yeah.
Who's next? Elena?
I minus the Mighty Mascots thing and World of Warcraft book I found. No, not much.
Not much, huh? You haven't read anything, or what have you been doing?
Sitting at home, just drawing concept art, I guess.
Have you been reading anything, or are you drawing any stories?
Sort of, in a way. I'm kind of like planning to do like a miniature comic strip for just like a storyline for backstory on some of my characters, but like I haven't really done much progress on it.
Cool. Well, yeah, we can definitely help you with that. That's what we're all here for.
Ow.
Katie? Katie G?
Besides dyeing my hair, because I wanted to look like Madam Hydra, we ended up having so much extra dye, so we just did my whole hair. Haven't really been reading anything. Yeah, that's about it.
Well, what'd you find out about Madam Hydra when you were dyeing your hair?
That, Madam Hydra was originally called Madam Snake in her Marvel comics, and she had her hair dyed this lime neon green.
Cool. What have you been reading?
Just a manga that I shared last week.
Oh, well, let's take a look at it one more time, in case anyone's forgotten. Yu
Yeah.
Yuko-chan, and it's a hardcover manga. And what's the story about?
It's based in World War II. It's a group of teenagers who end up getting into like this, not fight, but like they find the Earth invading girl. Yeah. Yeah.
Aliens. So aliens invade the Earth.
No, it's just this one girl.
All right. Katie G.
You mean Katie Q?
Oh, Katie Q. Sorry, Katie Q. Oh, look who's here, Frida.
Oh,
Woohoo!
Hey, Frida, how you doing?
Oh, I'm good. How are you?
Good. We're just going around, doing a round robin on everybody, see how everyone's weekend went, and if anyone's reading good books and
You
stuff.
can see my dog's tail wagging in the background.
We're talking with Katie Q right now. She's gonna tell us about what she's doing.
Be right back.
I don't know, like, I think, like, I haven't really watched, like, any movies that I remember, like, the past, like, week, but I know, I think 2 weeks ago I watched Midway.
Midway?
Midway.
Oh, okay. How was that?
I liked that. It was really good.
About the Battle of Midway in World War II.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a pretty accurate depiction of what happened at Midway.
I think so. It seemed pretty accurate.
Cool. Have you been reading anything?
Not really.
How's school going for everybody?
Same old, same old.
haven't really done it today, honestly.
Very confusing.
Yeah. Alex just found out that he missed a ton of assignments, so now he has to do extra work.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Is everyone turning in their work the right way? I know that we had some issues with Katie not turning it in the right way. So we had to go back and figure it out, and we finally got it all worked out. So everyone is turning it in through Google Classroom. I think that's what all
Yep.
the teachers want.
Yeah.
Okay. And you got to make sure you're connected through your NHA account, not through your own Google account.
Yeah.
Okay. Frida, good seeing you. I haven't seen you for a long time. How's everything going?
Good. I keep forgetting.
No worries. Were you ever able to come by and pick up the book?
No.
Okay, well, we read Mighty Mascots. It was really good. It's a parody on a Avengers type of group, but it's all done through like cereal mascots. And we're gonna have the writer join us around 4 for a little Q&A. So yeah, it was a pretty good book. Okay, everyone liked it? Yeah. We still have some copies here, Rita, if you want to tell your folks to swing by, and
All right.
you can come by the house. I sent out an email on the address, and it's just in a red cooler on the porch, so it's all social distancing appropriate.
All right.
So how was your weekend? Have you watched movies, read books?
Well, yesterday, happy late May the 4th, by the way.
Yeah.
We watched Rise of Skywalker for the first time. That was the most exciting thing that's happened within the last couple weeks, but
Oh, awesome. What'd you think of Rise of Skywalker?
it was good. I mean,
What did
plot
you-
twist was
Oh,
kind
yeah,
of predictable, but good.
You thought the twist was predictable?
Yeah, I don't want to say anything, but when the laser beams, I was like,
I didn't see it coming. I was thinking it was going to be a different twist.
I
So I
thought
definitely.
It was good. It was still good, but
Well, good. Have you been reading anything?
mm, not really. I've
No?
been reading this one book. It comes in graphic novel form. It's called Brazen. It's about powerful women, and it's like all animated in like graphic novel form, and that's really cool. It's actually a book I borrowed from the school, and I can't return at the moment. So
Oh, that's cool. That sounds like a cool book.
I'm
I have a
rereading it 'cause-
question.
Yes, sir. Alex.
What's the meeting ID?
Um,
Oh, I have it. It
oh, do
is. It's the meeting ID is 849256565.
I also
Okay.
put the invite on the Facebook page.
Okay.
Do you need the code, Alex?
Um. Yeah.
Okay. The code is 037516.
What is it? One more time.
037516.
Okay.
So, Frida, have you been able to Zoom with friends or do
Mhm.
other kinds of social media with friends?
Yeah, we've been on a couple of Discord calls and we've been playing some games together, but we've done a couple Zoom calls,
Oh, good.
so that's worked out.
Awesome. So, so we did, let's see, I think you were on the first call when we were doing
Mm,
some D&D. After that, we did some Jackbox games.
yeah.
And then last week we read Mighty Mascots. And then I have our new book. I'm not going to show you guys what it is, but it's nice and new. Look at all those bags and boards.
Ooh.
Those are
Yeah,
going in the
I
cooler.
I live.
Hey, Logan, how's it going?
Yeah, sorry, I haven't been doing it lately. I had stuff to do last week.
That's all right. So, yeah, the new books are going to be in the cooler today. So you guys can come by anytime and pick them up. There's some little goodies in the cooler as well as some previews and some other free comics. So go ahead and take what you don't have. Don't take more than one, normal stuff. Logan, we're just doing the round robin. How was your weekend?
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Yeah.
Have you
Plan.
read any books or watched any movies or anything like that?
We did watch one movie, but I forgot what we watched. I think what was that movie? I really don't remember. I am reading a novel right now, but I don't think that counts as a comic book.
All right.
Yeah, reading novels all the time.
All right, guys. Well, today we're going to do some drawing. We're just going to work on some different techniques that it's used in comic drawing. So we'll just go around and see what everyone is interested in. Does anyone have something that they have been working on or that they've been having trouble with or something that they want to try to get a grasp on?
I do, kind of.
Elena?
Shading and lighting. I
Shading
do that.
and lighting. Okay. All right. So the thing with shading and lighting is first you want to pick your perspective where your lighting is going to come from. So is it going to be from the top? Yeah, let me see if I have a better pencil. Is it going to be from the corners? the bottom, or the side. So you gotta choose where your lighting perspective is gonna be based on what the scene demands. So if you're writing about nighttime, if your scene is taking place at night, what is going to provide your light? What do you think is going to provide your light?
A street lamp.
Moon, stars.
It could be a street lamp. That's a good one, Logan.
Yeah, thanks.
And what else could it be?
The moon.
Who said that?
Me? Sorry, I said the moon.
The moon. You're right. It could be the moon.
Full moons are pretty bright.
Full moons are bright. You're right.
Yeah.
Anything else that could provide light at night? Anyone else?
Basically- Oh, okay.
Flashlight.
Good one. Katie Q. It could be a flashlight.
Maybe like a
So-
street lamp.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we have like the street lamp. Maybe a character. Holding a flashlight. So once you have your perspective on where your light's going to come from, so we have our street lamp up here, right? Now you have a good idea of where the light's going to shine. Okay? So you bring your light down, and that's going to be where all your shading is going to happen. So you have your bright light over here on the back. Okay? So that's going to be your lighter sides, and then you're going to start your shading from where that light begins. Okay?
Oh, I have a drawing tab I need to use. Hold on.
You
Never
guys
mind. I was at my
understand?
dad's house.
Do you understand the light perspective? Anyone have questions
Yeah.
on that piece? All right.
Oh,
So
Well,
then
oh,
if you
actually, I have
have
a question.
moonlight over, say, moonlight on the opposite side, kind of get your light, see where that's going to shine. So then you add a little bit of light there. So then you're going to have a little bit of shading after that as well. So you're going to kind of have something that meets in the middle, right?
Hmm.
So you see our character's big ol' head here is going to have real dark spots in the middle.
Oh, my phone died.
And then it's going to go lighter to the back where the street light is, and lighter to the front where the moonlight is.
Logan is raising his hand.
Logan, you have a question?
What would it look like during the day? Because this is like nighttime where you
Yep.
know there's
We're
certain
not there
sources
yet,
of
man.
light.
We'll
Oh,
get there
I'm
soon.
Sorry. Sorry. Okay.
All right. So then you have to consider all of your ambient light. So like what Katie Q said, like the flashlight here. So if there's an object on the ground, all the shadowing is going to be behind where that flashlight is shining, right?
Yeah.
And then there might be some little ambient light that comes up from the bottom. So then you would add just a little bit of light perspective from the bottom. Okay, so that's one thing for you to consider on when you're doing shading. First thing you have to do is your lighting. So daytime, it's the same thing. You have to pick where your light perspectives are coming from. You have to find out what's providing the light. So daytime, it's going to be the sun, right? Is the sun going to be clouded? Is it going to be just a sunny day? Is it so when you're looking at daytime and the sun, you have to think about what time of day it is. So when you're making your light perspective, think about it like a clock. Okay, so you see how I have like a little clock here? So right in the middle is going to be noon. There you're going to have 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 12, 11, 10, 9. Okay, so if you're so you have to decide what time of day it is, what you're drawing, and then based on that time of day is how you're going to pick your light perspective. So if it's 11 o'clock, this is going to be where most of our light is coming from, right? So we'll draw our sun up here. We'll get rid of everything else. I know it's not perfect, guys. Just bear with me. So we have our little big head character here. Okay. The sun shining down this way. So most of the light's going to be on this side, right?
Mm-hmm.
You see where I've got the little character here? And so we're going to start our shading from there. So it's going to be lighter in the middle and then darker as it comes out. So it'll be the sun, real light, dark, 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 dark. And then at the very back of where the sun is, you're going to have your darkest spots. Where are we going here? There we go. You see?
Yeah.
Does that help?
A lot. Thanks.
Okay, so that's your light perspective. So now we'll talk about shading techniques.
Shading.
Shading techniques. So so let's see. So we have. Let me get another pencil here, guys. Both these are.
Hello, Alex.
All right. So we're just going to do a sphere. Okay. So we got our circle here. So let's get rid of. Ugh. I don't have any of my pen. I couldn't find my pencils earlier, guys, when I put them in the car because I was doing some work on stuff when I was at lunch at my job, and then I cleaned out the car. Now I forgot where I put my pencils.
Dang, that sucks.
I'll find them. It's okay. They're in the car somewhere. All right. So when you're drawing with pencil or graphite, everything's forgiving, right? You can always erase. If you put too much something somewhere, you can always erase, right?
Unless you like really press down the pencil really hard, then it won't
Yeah.
erase you.
Or you could start new. You can always start fresh too.
And
So I'm starting with a little sphere, and the first thing I'm doing is making my outside. So I'm doing a hard line for my sphere, and then I'm kind of filling in a dark line, right?
Charging. Nope. Maybe not. Hold on. Focus on me.
All right. So where do you think I'm choosing my light perspective to come from in this little sphere?
From the bottom. Oh no.
Well, depending on which way you look at it, kind of from like the top right.
Like right here, right?
Top
Mhm.
right, I would say.
Yep.
No.
Yeah. So this is where I'm choosing my light perspective to come from. So I'm starting basically with nothing here. So I did a light line to kind of see where my shape is, but I don't really have anything in there. So what I'm gonna do, I have my hard line right here, and I'm just going to lightly draw that hard line further to where the light perspective is. And I'm just gonna do with my pencil, I'm just doing a few lines. I'm like making wispy, I call them wispy lines. All right, so you see how I have the wispy lines going? So now there's a rough transition here between my wispy lines and my hard line, right? So I'm going to fill in that rough transition a little bit more. So I'm going to go from being a real dark pencil to being kind of like a grayish pencil. Okay? And I'm just going to keep doing that until you don't see those wispy lines and it starts getting lighter and lighter. And I'm making that curve go around my light source. So I'm really defining that light source as I get lighter and lighter, guys. So you see how that's getting more defined? And that shading that's starting to blend?
Mm-hmm.
So you just want to keep doing that until you feel like you have the transition that you want. It's more based on personal perspective. If you want a really rough transition, that's fine. You know, it's up to you and how you think. What do you think is going to convey the story that you're trying to tell better? You know, sometimes rough transitions are a little better for storytelling. Sometimes a real light transition will give off more of a emotional feel.
So, what do you mean by like it'll impact the way that the story is told? Like,
So if you have something that's really dark and rough, what kind of emotion do you think that's going to convey to the reader?
Oh, it's like that comic that was like about the detective who had the tumor. All those transitions are really rough.
Yeah, they were like real dark and like really hard lines, and And so it made it feel really gritty, made it feel like there's anger. There was some turmoil. So it's, the art impacts a lot of what the emotion is in a story.
Yeah.
So, all right. So this is just a basic graphite shading, but if you want to get into it a little more, you could take your finger or you could take a piece of paper and you could do just kind of rub it. And that will kind of smush out that graphite, and it'll get rid of those lines, and it'll make it look smoother and more like right now I'm doing a ball, so it'll be more spherical. So it makes it softer. So that's your graphite shading. But say we want to do some other techniques. So I'm going to take that sphere and I'm pulling it around, making a line over it. What do you think this is turning into, guys?
An eyeball.
No.
What? It kind of, yeah, that's not an eyeball.
That was sarcasm, Logan. It was a sarcastic no.
Oh, dang sarcasm, so undetectable.
All right, so I'm turning it into a little eye, but I want to, I'm gonna do another type of technique here. So this is called cross hatching. So I'm taking this dark piece and I'm gonna make some lines here, just with my pencil going down. And I don't know if you can see those lines. See, so I'll make them real dark. Can you see those? There you go. So you see those lines?
Yeah.
All right, so now I did the lines going one way, right? I went down like this. So now I'm gonna go the other way. And so when I'm doing that, I'm going to put them really close together where I want it to be darker. And I'm gonna put them further apart where I want it to be lighter. So if I want a real dark, I'll put the lines really close together and smaller. And then as I want it to get lighter, I'll move my lines further apart. And it gives the illusion of a dark shade. See? So I can do that so I'm going to do that is just a few times towards the center of the eye. And the eyeball itself, like coming out from the eyeball. And as we pull back, we're going to see some real dark areas closer to the eyeball and some lighter areas as it gets more towards the skin. You see, guys?
Yeah.
So that's cross hatching. And a lot of people do that when they're penciling. So when you're doing your pencils in a comic, a lot of times they'll do a mixture of shading. They'll maybe make some soft points with their by smudging. They'll do make it softer, and then that they'll send that to the inker, and the inker will go in and do some other techniques. So he may actually go over some of the cross hatching. He may do some just refine the lines on the smudging.
Oh, are you watching an anime? Never mind.
No, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, look, he has like a tablet up.
Who's that?
Alex Quarles. He has like a. Are
Oh.
you watching it?
That's fine, dude. You can double
No,
task.
I don't really care. I'm just wondering.
All right. So when the inker comes in, he has his own technique. So he'll come in and do some other stuff. So I'm gonna show you something called stippling. So stippling is just making dots, and instead of doing the smudging, instead of doing the cross hatching, you're making your shading with just a bunch of dots. So when you want them to be, when you want your shading to be real dark, you put your dots really close together. When you want it to be lighter, you put your dots further apart. So I'm gonna go in and do some stippling in the bottom here with my brown. That's gonna give an illusion of color. And as I come out, and with the eyeballs, I like to do this to kind of give the, kind of define the illusion of the iris and provide a little bit of like some veining in the eye. So if you look at your eyes, they have little veins, and even your iris will have them.
Oh, yeah, the
But a lot of
veins in
times
the
you
eye.
can't always see them, especially if you have dark colored eyes. So as I'm coming out further, I'm making my dots a lot further apart. And I'm just doing random. There's no pattern. There's no like real hard pattern to it. And then if I want to do some more definition or draw some more darkness to certain areas, I'll just put them closer. So as you're looking further away, you can see the iris here. And it looks real soft in the center, right? And that's where we did our smudging. And then it kind of gives this harder kind of look towards as it's getting to the skin. And then you see a little bit of color and a little bit of shadow underneath here, but that's all dots. These are 3 different styles of shading. But it was real easy, different techniques, and as we get closer, we could see them real clearly, but as you get further apart, it completely changes the perspective, right?
Yeah.
So, anyone else have any other questions about techniques or different things they wanted to work on? Did that answer all your questions, Elena, or did you have anything else?
No.
What about story, guys? We haven't really talked a lot about scripting.
Oh, but I've been watching lots of videos about like storytelling. Don't know why. I just became interested by it. So.
But when you're so there's a big difference in storytelling for writing a book and storytelling for writing a comic.
Oh, yeah,
So when
obviously.
you're doing a comic, you write it like a script, like you would like if you're writing a movie. But a lot of times, so different writers do these in different ways. So some writers will do it straight on a page like this. So they'll provide more notes to the artist. So they'll say panel number 1, this part of the story happens, and they'll write all that. And so they want the artist to do all of that in that panel. And then they'll say panel number 2. Here we go. Panel number 1, panel number 2. This stuff happens, and this is the part of the story where he does this. And so the artist knows that in panel number 2, they wanted that. And then they would go on 3, panel 4, so on and so forth. But so they're basically writing the story on the page itself. But there's other ways you could do it too. You could write it like you would a script, where you have just type it out like a scene, opening scene. Frida walks into the park. She looks off into the distance, and she
Dramatic.
sees her old friend that she's forgotten about over these past weeks.
So how does she know that it's the friend if she forgot about him? Whatever.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe the appearance like sparks some memories.
Yeah, but you know that's pretty cushy.
Well, depends.
Yeah, maybe. And this is called. So there's when you're the writer, you're conveying the scene, but you also want the artist to interpret your writing sometime. So, like I said, Frida. What did I say?
It walks to a park and stares into the distance.
Yes, so Frida walks into a park and stares into the distance. And, you know, the artist could interpret this as her being sad or lonely. And so maybe he creates the scene that she's walking and she's all alone. And maybe he makes her facial features look sad. Or longing, you know, maybe she's thinking about something or someone, and then off in the distance you see that person that she's thinking about, or you know, so there's part of it is what the writer is putting on the page, and then the other part of it is what the artist is interpreting from those words. So you know, it's interesting when you have books that have a lot of collaborations, because you get a lot of different interpretations. So if you have, if you're reading a book where there's maybe different writers, several different writers, or several different artists, the most interesting ones are when there's a lot of different artists, guys. So if you're reading a book and you see like 3 or 4 different artists working on the book, try to go through that and see what the differences are in those artist interpretations. It's pretty cool. So like when you know, the big publishers like Marvel and DC, they'll do like giant size annuals. And in those books, there's usually anywhere from 10 to 15, maybe 20 different artists. Sometimes they have a different story on each page, or a few, like 3 or 4 pages. Sometimes it'll be one storyline, so it's one writer doing the whole thing, but it's like 20 different artists doing working on the book. Like they chop it up, and so you'll see different art styles and different interpretations of the story. And it's pretty cool to see what type of interpretations there are and things like that. And I enjoy, like in those types of situations, I also enjoy finding new artists. It's a really good way to find a new artist that you, or a new writer that you're not familiar with. So some of you may have like your favorite writer or your favorite artist. But if you get like those annuals or special editions or one-off books, that a lot of times they're giving an opportunity to someone who's more unknown to come out and do stuff. And every once in a while, keep an eye on those books, guys, because every once in a while they even do contests. DC did a contest last summer just for new artists. So you did a story, and you did some art pages, a little, like a small portfolio, and you sent it in to them, and that's how they got the artist Hi-Fi, who did the run of Robin War. There was a DC book called Robin War, and it was really cool. He's actually one of my favorite artists now. And it's just a way to introduce new artists, but it's really cool for publishers to do these kinds of things, and a lot of them do stuff like that. So if you guys are interested in keeping your art up and doing things, sometimes they'll do stuff for teens where they do young artists. Can't remember what publisher it is. I think Boom, the publisher Boom, they do a young artist page. So if you submit art to them, they'll print a page of that artwork in the back of the books. So yeah, it's a cool way just to get your art out there. And sometimes it won't show up for a while, but out of the blue, a year from now, you may see, if you're reading the publisher, you may see your art in there. Anyone have any other questions about writing or comic drawing?
No, not really.
So there's still a few of the books left that we read last week. The writer was going to join us today, but it doesn't look like he did, or maybe he didn't get off work in time. But we'll try to get him on at some point in time. If you guys wanted to pick up books, we'll have the secret new one. Ooh, I'll give you a little sneak. Oh no, fooled you. I'm not gonna give you a sneak.
What?
And then there's a few of the last week's books still, and it's really funny, guys. It was actually, when we were reading, I was like, Logan would love this book, and Frida would get a kick out of it too.
I'm gonna have to try to pick it up.
Yeah, you got to come pick it up. Yeah, Logan, you guys got to come down, man. That's I sent down an email that has my address, and it's
All right, I'll
there's a
try to
cooler.
convince my dad to do it.
Yeah, there's a cooler on the front porch. All you got to do is come up, and you run up and open up the cooler, and there's goodies in there. There's the books. The books that we're reading will all be bagged and boarded. But there's also some free books in there and some previews. I'll just keep it going until we can actually meet, which right now doesn't look like until maybe June. So, yeah, we'll see. I'm hoping that we'll be able to get together soon. As soon as we're able to, I want to do a barbecue for the club. So we'll have like everyone will be invited. We'll do maybe meet at a park and barbecue all day. Just have fun. Maybe I'll bring some like paintball or Nerf guns or something. We
Ooh,
could
a
do
Nerf gun.
maybe
I
we
can
could do a
shoot people
capture the
without any
flag
consequences.
RPG style. Capture the flag.
I can shoot people without any consequences.
I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, we'll as soon as we're able to do something like that, we'll get it all planned out. I'm gonna try to get some people joining our Zoom meetings. So next week, I'll reach out to a few different people and get an agenda together. Maybe have like 2 or 3 people on the agenda. So if someone forgets to join, then someone else will be there, and we'll do like Q&As or writing seminar or drawing seminar or something like that. What would you guys like to see?
I don't know, anything.
Wait, what? Sorry,
Well, it's your guys' club too, so you tell me, what would you enjoy having in the Zoom meeting? An artist, a writer?
An artist.
Is there
a writer.
anyone particular, maybe from Minicon or?
no,
I'd be happy
Meredith?
to see anyone.
I don't know. Anyone sounds pretty good.
Yeah, Katie,
Yeah.
were you gonna say something?
Me?
Katie G? Yeah.
Oh yeah, Meredith.
Oh,
Who?
Meredith, Flat Track Furies. Oh no, Meredith, for the jewelry. You're talking about jewelry. Oh, that'd be cool. Like
Or
jewelry
Mariah.
making.
Or we could do Mariah if she can make it.
What would you guys think about like a jewelry making Q&A?
I like that. That sounds cool.
That'd be cool.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I could reach out to Meredith and see if she'd want to do that. That would be pretty cool, actually. I'm looking into maybe doing a Cards Against Humanity. I know we could do that online, but it would have to be an appropriate
I'd be careful
Cards
what
Against
website.
Humanity.
My family did a website, and it's not the most appropriate game, but
What game?
you would have to find definitely. It'd be difficult. I would probably have to go through the entire website to make sure it's. So that's kind of risky.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to research it, and it would have to be something that was appropriate for the club. But, well, we still got time, guys. What do you want to talk about?
Does anyone want to see the concept art I'm working on? No.
Yeah, let's see it, Elena.
What?
Share.
Okay.
I don't know how well you can see it, but I'm just like doodling a bunch of like, it's all pixelated, but doodling a bunch of like alien kind of characters.
Oh, those are cool.
Neat.
Do
So
you,
there's that.
So what are you thinking about for a story?
I'm sort of like planning to do a backstory for a character I've had for like a really long time. And it's sort of like an alien character that sort of like crashed onto another planet by accident. And then they meet other characters. It's a big old complicated storyline.
Oh, A Band of Five. I know that trope from the YouTube channel.
So the best thing you could do to get your story down is just start writing it. Get out a piece of paper and start writing exactly what you're thinking of, and you could start with just an outline. This alien crash lands on Earth, and then you can start getting into your details. Why did she crash land? What is she running from? That's when you start getting into your background and putting more detail into it. But the first thing is just put a rough draft together, start writing that story down.
Personally, when I write, I like to choose one character, specifically the main character, and then kind of try to write down what you want this character's backstory, not like in full detail, but certain key points. And then you want to, like what I like to try to write around that.
Yeah.
Try to write the other characters around one person, and it kind of works out, but that doesn't make sense, but
Yeah, it definitely makes sense. Yeah, that's a great way to do it too. If a lot of people, well, everyone has their own style, everyone does things differently, but you can always take bits and pieces of what everyone does and make it your own. You can always try. When I was in writing class in college, our professor would have us try writing in different author styles. So if you guys read books, you know how books are very different based on who wrote them, right? Some people have very different writing styles. So we would have to write a short story, but we'd have to write it in the style of, for example, like J.K. Rowling, the way she writes.
J.K. Rowling.
Or we'd have to write it in the style of Tom Robbins, and the way he writes. But it's a great exercise, and it gets you out of your own mindset. So a lot of times when we are, especially when we're in a situation like this and we're confined, tend to get self-obsessed. So we'll, like if you're writing, you always write in your mindset and your style, which is great, but it's also good to think outside of that, think outside of the box, and that will sometimes give you inspiration. So if you try writing in someone else's style, that may just give you enough of a change to inspire your own writing. Same with drawing. If you're drawing something over and over again, try drawing a different style, someone else's style. When Jim Lee was drawing, he used to draw a lot of things like Steve Buscemi.
Who's that?
Jim Lee.
No, I know who that is, but Jim Buscemi.
Buscemi, man. Logan, I'm disappointed, dude. I haven't taught you well.
What?
He's an old.
I bet nobody else here knows who that guy is.
He's an old Marvel artist, and he was the creator of Thor, basically. So, have you guys seen Thor? What was the last movie? What was the last Thor movie?
Ragnarok.
Ragnarok. Have you guys seen Ragnarok?
Yeah, that was really funny.
So, but you know how it was all bright and colorful, and there were these crazy characters.
My brother told me about that. It's based off of his art style.
It is, yeah. It was based on, so Taika Waititi based it off of Steve Buscemi's art style and his Thor.
See if I can find it. I have like a small pocket size, kind of like the Archie comics come in, like a small pocket sized. It's of the Thor Ragnarok story, and the art style was really interesting in me because it was colorful but also very serious.
That was probably Buscemi.
Yeah, most likely. I forgot.
Yeah. Or it may have been Kirby. It may have been Jack Kirby too.
I can't remember.
Kirby has a real cool style as well. You just take it out and wash it. Yeah, guys. So it's good just to get out of your box every once in a while and try different things, and that may just give you the inspiration you need to move forward, especially if you're stuck. So, yeah. Anything else? Any other questions?
I don't know.
Yeah, Alex.
Not really.
Alex, wake up. There,
Yeah.
Who are you telling to wake up, Logan? You look like you're still in bed.
What are you talking about? No, I'm sitting on the floor. What do you mean?
Did you just wake up yourself?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I woke up at like numerous hours ago.
Numerous hours ago. Is you guys are you guys interested in trying any more D&D on Zoom?
That really didn't work. 'Cause I was like,
It was a little tough.
actually, no, that worked fine. I was thinking about like the game thing didn't really work very well. Yeah, D&D will be fine, I'd say.
The game thing was kind of hit and miss. I think I tried it later a different way, and I think that worked out a little better. But it was a kind of a big setup. I had the extra camera, so this camera that's on my hands here, I had that on the big TV, and had to mess with the sound so it didn't get echoey and stuff. But I think we were able to do it, so it worked out well. For that night, I did with some friends, and we played Jackbox games. But we could also try and do like, if everyone has the same game, we can try and play something where we're all playing it together, but with our own boards. Do you see what I'm saying?
We could try. I had an idea. We could try to play super fights, but like you draw 2 random cards and show it to the person, and then without physically having the cards, they try to argue with randomly pulled cards.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It would be
Yeah, we could try
difficult and weird, but I think it would be fun because you don't get to choose the cards, so that way it will be a little very
Yeah, let
difficult,
me
but a
let me
challenge.
look it up, because that's another one that should be like something online. There should be a way to do that online. So I'll look that up and see if we can do that through Zoom. We can also do. Does everyone have a computer available? Like not just their phone, but an actual computer?
I'm on my
Yeah.
computer right now.
Because we could do a Netflix watch party.
Oh,
Netflix. Ooh,
Yeah.
we can watch Neon Genesis Evangelion.
We can. Evangelion is okay, Logan. It's a little
Well, not
inappropriate.
some of the other episodes, like the movie. And for some of the final episodes, everything else is okay. It's just a little bit bloody.
Yeah, I'm thinking more like there's going to be a Studio Ghibli stuff that's going to start coming up on Netflix at the end of the month. There's Avatar is going to start coming on Netflix next week.
Ooh, Avatar.
Yeah, Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the movie Avatar.
Yeah, no, the movie was no. Well, not that movie. There's
The one with the blue people. That movie.
yeah, no, not that one.
But the
No.
Avatar, the Avatar movie apparently was the greatest cinematic failure in cinematic.
Oh, that was
history.
god awful. It was awful. Frida, did you have a question?
is Totoro gonna be on Disney Plus?
Totoro.
It's not really relevant, but I want to know because it's technically like the dub version is technically under Disney, right?
No, I don't think.
Well, so Disney owns the distribution rights, and they are, I think, I just read the story. I can't remember who it was. Someone just bought the streaming rights, and I don't think it was Disney. Let me see if I can
Interesting.
find it here.
Because Disney would have probably fought for that, wouldn't they?
I
Or they probably
I don't
already
know
tried.
if they. Yeah, I don't know if they would have fought for it or.
They probably wanted it, but I don't think they would really care too much.
Alex. Oh,
Let
Alex
me
left.
see.
Oh
No, Alex. No, he's still there.
Yeah. Alex.
Yeah.
How's the clan doing?
Oh, how is your clan doing?
Oh, I left the clan, so I don't know.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, and I found the book. It's Jack Kirby.
Oh.
Oh yeah, Kirby. Yeah, definitely.
Smiling Stan Lee and Jolly Jack Kirby.
Oh, that's right. It's HBO Max. So I don't know if you guys have heard of HBO Max. It's starting at the end of the month.
Oh, nice.
So they're going to have all the Studio Ghibli. They bought the streaming rights.
Mm.
So so if you already have HBO Go or you pay for an HBO service, you're going to get HBO Max for free. And
Okay.
they're going to have all the Studio Ghibli, all the Crunchyroll stuff.
Okay.
It's gonna be big. It's gonna be really big. There were a couple others things that they're gonna have. I can't remember what it was, but yeah, it looks pretty cool. I'm excited for it.
Interesting.
Yeah, anyone else have anything want to
Um,
add?
What now? To add? Oh, no.
Yeah? No?
Oh, nothing.
All right, guys. So
Terraria Journey's End is releasing on May 16th. Yeah.
all right.
It's going to be very fun.
Cool. Okay, so next week we're going to maybe try and do what do you guys want to do next week? You're gonna try and do some games?
Sure.
Well, I think so. Games could be fun.
Play some
Okay.
games.
All right, we'll try and do some games. I'll put the books in the cooler. If you guys come get the books and the games don't work out, we can go to reading. I think that worked out really well. It was a lot of fun. So get your parents to look up the emails and swing on by and pick up those books. All right,
Okay.
Logan, Frida.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm listening.
All right,
Uh,
Elena,
I
Yep.
was totally listening.
Alex.
Yep.
All right. All right, guys. Have a good weekend or have a good week. Get that homework
Alright,
turned in.
you too.
Yep. Bye.
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 Bye. Thank you.